Hey, Christian, come over here, everybody. So this is episode 15 of
Christian.
the podcast. This is Christian. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, buddy.
This
birthday,
is our
Christian.
super talented, he produces this podcast, but the really dope intro music is also him. It's Christian's a really talented music producer with him and his buddy Gaja or Aaron. They are X and G, and they're a really up-and-coming electronic music. What kind of music do you say you do? Electronic, does that work? House-ish?
Yeah.
Super good. X&G, X and G. You guys should look it up on SoundCloud. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's like really good
Dude, you
music.
should start doing some like DJ Khaled type like Instagram stuff because you're way more talented than that little
Dude, he is
chubby guy.
super talented.
Nothing against chubby
Christian
guys.
is going
describing.
places. We're just lucky that he's slumming with us on his way to the top. So happy birthday, Christian. Thanks for all
Happy
you
birthday,
produce,
Christian.
all you do.
Thanks.
Yeah. He's the least socially awkward human that works here for sure. So this is episode 15, and 15 straight is pretty impressive.
That's dang impressive.
Co-host
I'm impressed.
Mike Hartle with
Adam Laga.
Adam, and today we have a really special guest, all the way from downstairs in the production warehouse. We have Randy Yellowhair with us. Randy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Randy Yellowhair. Originally from Arizona. I grew up on the Navajo Reservation in Chinle, Arizona. And if you don't know where Chinle's at, it's the Four Corners. I live right there in the corner of the state. That's where
Of which
Chinle's
state?
at.
Arizona?
Arizona.
So is that by Page, Arizona?
More east to Page.
So if you are in the reservation, is there hospitals on the reservation? Do you get born just in the house, or do you go to a normal?
No. The reservation has their own government. As we know, they have their own government. They have their own police force, their own hospitals.
Really?
Hang on, time out. I want to get into
actually
this.
didn't know
I want to
that.
get into this too, but just so everybody knows, Randy actually works here. He works with us. He's our production manager at Fresco Press, and he's also one of our Riven fighters and athletes. So of all the people that we work with, Randy is the most humble, hardworking, awesome guy. And I
Thank you.
am really excited to have him on. He's been honestly a big part of Riven since, we've been getting going. And if anybody wants to look for an example of somebody who is good to work with or sponsor or who works really hard, Randy, for the level he's at, is the most disproportionately effective person, I feel like, that we've ever worked with as far as supporters of him and his diligence in working to support our brand and Riven and really kind of identifying. So I just wanted to give you a
Thanks,
public
man.
shout out and
Well,
thanks.
I like that you're actually a fighter. It's cool to that Mike and I, we started Riven as a fight brand, and it's cool when we actually have a real fighter that's working in the production of Mike's print shop. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's blowing everybody's mind. They meet Randy, he's so soft-spoken that they can't believe he has to convince him that he's a fighter, but there's two sides to this coin right here for sure. The reason why we wanted to have you in, Randy, is we wanted to talk to you about Star Wars and have a podcast. I just wanted to see Adam's face.
Get some
dude.
questions.
I was ashamed of myself the other day. Somebody said something, and I actually said, I think my midichlorian levels are low. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I just said that.
Dude, I'm shocked that you
exposed me
even
that I knew that.
you even knew that. I'm honestly shocked. That's kind of pretty deep.
Hey, well, let me take it, but let me just bring it back down to reality. I had a free ticket to go watch Star Wars, which I have yet to see.
What episode?
The new one.
The new one, whatever the freak
I know,
it is.
what
episode, Attack of the Clone Returns. What is it?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Episode 7.
Okay, I had no idea. Episode 7.
Yeah.
So is this a prequel or a postquel?
It's a
NyQuil?
continuation. Yeah.
Okay, well, I stayed home to watch fights, buddy.
Yeah.
Because I'm diehard.
Who was fighting that night?
Donald Cerrone, Overeem.
That's right.
I was super pissed. My DVR
RDS
cut off. I didn't.
And
even
the
see
day
it.
before they had the Ultimate Fighter finale.
No. That was last week.
The day before was the Fight Pass fight.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
No, that was the week before too. The week before they had three fights in a row. That was the week before.
Oh yeah.
Come on, buddy. Obviously,
you're right. I'm
a
behind.
fighter, but you're not
already. We're all over Star Wars fights, everything. So Randy is a very eclectic dude. He loves Star Wars and he loves punching people in the face. And he had a very bad sports weekend with the Cowboys and the Cougars.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm from Arizona. Everybody always asks me, "Why are you a Cowboys fan? You're a Native American. You're an Indian. You should be a Redskins fan or a Cardinals fan." But I'm diehard Cowboys.
Okay,
fan
now, dude,
forever.
that's an instant question I want to ask you because it's been such a big deal this year. What are your feelings as a Native American about the mascot, the Washington Redskins?
I think it can go two ways. I mean, both ways it could be bad. The way they portray, the way they go on halftime shows and dance and just do different things. I think that can be a little bad. But if they go through the school, go through the tribe and get permission from the tribe, then I think it could be more of an honor. So it could be both ways. It just depends on how you look at it.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, how do you take a
stand, line in the sand?
How do you personally
does it offend
feel
you? Yes or no?
About the Washington Redskins?
I like the Utes for what they've done. I like Florida Seminoles for what they've done. But I hate Washington Redskins. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
So yes, he's offended for them.
Yeah. But I don't mind though.
So now's a good time.
But that's different because see, Redskins, that's not a tribe. The Utes is a tribe. Seminoles are a tribe. The Ute or Redskins, that's just like
it's a slang.
It's like a slang.
Yeah.
So like, what don't you feel there's a difference? Or
in a way, I think there is a difference because of how what the word really came from. You know, let's do some research and history and find out where the Redskin name came from.
Mm-hmm. So, where did it come
from? From what I've been told a few things. One was the way they used to beat them and how the blood used to be everywhere, and they were just Redskins. That was one of the things, and the other one was just the skin, the nature, the color.
So now might be a good time to announce Randy Yellowhair's new fighting name that we came up for him here at the shop. It's Randy the White Man Scalper Yellowhair.
Is it really?
That's going to be his new.
No way.
The 6-shooter.
It's going to be his, the 6-shooter. His new. He's going to go for the controversial name and go for the White Man Scalper. But no, interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it does offend you, yes or no?
No, it doesn't offend me at all.
That's just because you're a thick-skinned guy. Do you feel like most of your friends and family are offended by it?
I do know I have half of my family are offended by it, but the other half don't care about it as well.
Well, people get so offended by everything. This morning, I actually tweeted about something I thought was so ridiculous. A girl that was one of our original Riven girls, Whitney Peterson, she posted about a cool story about a kid that had Down syndrome that came up to her at the gym and said, "You really have beautiful eyes, and it goes with your beautiful smile." And she said, "Oh, thank you very much." And then he was all, shy, and so he walked away. And then like 10 minutes later, he got the nerve to come back, and he said, "You seem really nice. Can I do some cardio and then take you to lunch?" And then she said, "Oh, that's real nice of you, but I have a boyfriend." And he goes, "Okay, thanks," and he walked away. And so the very first comment on that post, which was a totally nice thing, how she was saying she was so flattered that this kid, was so nervous, and he came up and gave her a compliment and said something really nice to her. The very first comment was, you really shouldn't say Down syndrome boy. You should put people first. You should say a young man with Down syndrome. And I'm just like, give me a break. It's the same thing. People want to look at every way they can possibly get offended. Who's getting offended?
Yeah, I posted that thing about the entitlement mentality, about that homeless guy that threw the change in the street. And the post was about the mentality of people, right? And I got a bunch of comments about homeless people and why I'm against homeless or how I shouldn't judge homeless people. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people do get offended. There's certain things that trigger people, but yeah, just depends on the person, I guess, their time of the day. I worked in retail, and you get to know people's personalities every day just by how they come in, what they do. So
tell us about Randy, you growing up, as Adam, we kind of alluded to, like growing up on the res and what that was like, and then kind of like how you got to where you're at in your life and how you got into fighting.
So I live in Chinle, Arizona, a little small town on the res, and my whole life, my brothers, my sisters, everybody, we've all been into sports. Sports has been a part of our family, but wrestling has been part of my life since I was 8 years old. And I remember the very first tournament I ever went to, I took second, and all I knew was not to go on my back. So my brother coached me. My dad was there. My other brother was there too as well. But that's where it all started for me, was on the wrestling mat.
So growing up, what was it like Adam was saying, on the res? Because, I mean, I don't think either of us knew, how I've personally never been deep into a res, like what was your life like growing up?
It was pretty normal. I mean, a lot of people see the res as, something bad, but to me it's home. We have grocery stores. We do have gas stations. We do have just about everything you have in the city, but just smaller. Mm-hmm. Our town is expanding. We just got a Denny's this past 2 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, we're going up on the list.
Tax exempt Denny's.
Yeah. I think so. I'm not sure.
That you can play slot machines there too.
Yeah.
But so it was really fun being there. Our town is all about sports. Like,
how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 brothers and 4 sisters.
So that's interesting to me that, I mean, when I think of the res and Native Americans, it doesn't seem like sports don't jump out to me. Is it just particularly your family, or on the res were sports?
On the res, it's huge.
I do. Well, I'm gonna be ignorant and say, when I picture the reservation, I picture trailer houses and dirt and basketball hoops with no nets. So, like, where do you wrestle?
That's exactly what it is trailer park, trailer homes, and there's just basketball goals everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere. Everybody
way
knows
to
how
have your
play
stereotype
basketball.
reinforced, Adam.
No, that's really what it is. And there's dogs running around as well, too.
So where do you wrestle? Do you wrestle on the carpet in the living room?
I wrestled in the carpet in the living room. It was the very
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I learned. That's where my brothers taught me. And then from there, just wrestling rooms.
Yeah.
How many kids were at your school? Like, elementary?
Our school is actually the biggest on the reservation. We were at the time 4A. So I don't know how many students had this.
So that's like, how many kids would have been in your graduating class? Like 300?
Like 400, yeah. 300, 400
Yeah.
around
and
there.
all Native American?
All Native Americans. We had like maybe 2-3 white kids.
Really? Why were they there?
Doctors, teachers brought their kids.
So they
Yeah.
worked on the reservation.
Yeah.
I got you.
So they were there, and that's what it was. And for a while, I always thought everybody was Native American.
In the whole world?
In the whole world. Yeah. I thought everybody
Really?
was dark-skinned Native American, lived like the way everybody does,
Yeah. So is your real name Randy?
My real name is Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and where does Yellow, like, tell us the origins of the name Yellowhair?
Just exactly how it sounds. I had grandparents. My grandfather just had light hair, and it just translated to blonde to yellow.
So some white guy got in and mixed in with your grandma, great grandma somewhere.
Maybe
Messed up the hair color.
or we like the blonde hair and like the scalp.
Oh, that's right.
Like to take the yellow hairs.
Yeah.
That's what.
That's a more fierce version. What was your mom's maiden name? You told me one time, and it was like some
Silent Walker.
Yeah,
Silent Walker.
such
Well,
cool names. I wonder what my Native American name would probably be like. Nothing cool.
Yeah. Well, you don't have a Native American first name or anything, right?
No, I don't. Just Randy.
Randy?
Randy's my name. That's about it. I mean,
Who are you named after?
My name is I'm actually, my middle name is my grandparent. Albert is my grandfather's name, and he was actually a Korean War veteran. He was a paratrooper in the Army, and that's who I'm named after.
That's awesome.
Albert.
You know, I think we talk so much about black and white relation in America, but you know, I've watched a few documentaries about Native Americans, and in my opinion, it's, you know, Native Americans have had every bit as rough of a road, if not way worse, than, you know, a lot of blacks. I mean, even as recent as the 1950s, Native Americans were being taken from their homes and put onto schools for their whole life. Like until they were 12 or 13, they were taken from their homes and taken to schools to be educated by white people. And if the parents could afford to bring them home during the summer, they would. But if not, they just lived there year round. I mean, what do you feel like? What do you feel like what's your perception, and what do you think is the average perception of white people and of America on the reservation?
Well, I don't really mind white people because
Thanks, man.
growing up, you know, TV was all white people.
Yeah.
You know, that's when I was like, oh wow, there's other people out there, and so I mean that's who I like. I mean, my first crush was a white girl on TV.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even know. I can't even remember.
Mine was Daisy Duke. That's how old I am.
Mine was Stephanie from Full House.
I have to think about this one now. I'm not too sure.
Daisy Duke, really?
Yeah.
I loved Kelly.
You're
from
so young.
Saved
It
by
was
the
probably
Bell.
Hannah Montana.
No, Kelly from Saved by the Bell.
Oh,
Really?
that's a good one. Yeah.
That's, you know, my sister watched it, so I watched it too. Well, we had to watch it, but yeah, being on the res is just I loved it. It's always gonna be home to me. But where there's basketball goals, everybody played basketball.
Yeah.
So for me to choose wrestling other than basketball was so much different because we have our stadium, our high school gym right now is about 10,000 people.
Wow.
Really?
10,000 big.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I'm totally being racist, purely genetic speaking, Native Americans seem like you'd have a lot better chance at success in wrestling than basketball, which is so dependent on height and things like that. So it seems like, you know, you'd have a ton of opportunity to earn maybe a wrestling scholarship. Was that ever a goal for you?
I got recruited in high school. I got recruited by a few colleges, Arizona State being one of them. Being my favorite, was my top pick, but I chose to go on a mission, and because I think I was a Native American, everybody kind of backed off after that.
Yeah, that's interesting to me too, is being Mormon on the res, you know, being LDS. How did your family, or is there a lot of LDS people on the res?
No, we it was pretty small. Like
How did your family join the church?
There was times where I had to bless the sacrament and pass it.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom actually is the one who got us into the church.
The
She
LDS
was
church.
sent away on school,
Mm-hmm.
and she went to Mesa, Arizona, where she stayed with a Mormon family and came back, and that's kind of where it started, was for my mom.
So are there a lot of other LDS or Mormons on the res?
There is, I think, probably about 70% of them are Mormon,
Really?
but none of them are active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Now, when you talk about, you know, the perception of Native Americans, you know, how do you feel? Do you feel like that is like that you guys are neglected as far as, you know, in the media? You know, we do talk about, you know, Islamophobia, and we do talk about racism towards blacks, and it's almost like people don't even realize, you know, what Native Americans have actually been through, you know, and the fact that you guys, you know, have really been through a lot of hard things. How do you feel that is perceived by the average Native American? I mean, do you feel like when you see, what are your thoughts about, America as a country and your Native American culture, which is, isn't Native, the reservation's a totally separate, independent
we have
nation,
our own
right?
flag. We have our own flag. I love the United States.
Yeah.
I love what it stands for, freedom, bravery, and everything. But how it became the United States is, I think about that and what my people went through. It gets me upset, gets me mad still, even like you said, as late as the 1950s, 1970s, where they were still being, persecuted is the word I'm looking for. And it's still happening to this day.
If your mom got sent away to school, that would have been the 70s, right?
About 70s, yeah. It was, it still happens today, I think.
I think it's incomprehensible. I mean, it's hard for me as white heritage to think about the things that the country did to Native Americans and slavery and stuff like that. So I think it's equally incomprehensible, on the other side, to think that people did that to other human beings and treated other human beings like that too. So I think it's just a dark side of history that
no one talks about.
Yeah.
So,
well, growing up on the reservation, did you? I mean, obviously you were watching Hannah Montana, Saved by the Bell. So did you know that or did you want a life off the reservation, or did you think I'm totally fine living on the reservation my whole life?
That's a good question. I don't mind going back if I had to. I liked being off the reservation as well, but if I could go back and help other people, if I could get some kids to go to college in sports or in something just to help everybody, I think I would do it. But I also like being off. I like being able to go down the street to Walmart.
Yeah.
I like being able to go to the mall, the movies. So I like that.
Now, I was under the understanding that all Native Americans were allowed to have free education. Is that not true?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to. My tribe, you do have to apply, but you get anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a semester.
So, well, like you being LDS, that would have been a full ride at BYU.
Now they look on your grades. They look at your GPA, and the better your grades you are, the easier it is to get money.
Okay, so if you went to BYU, would the government have paid your tuition?
They probably would, because the only for me to get into BYU, I'd have it like 3.5 or something. And the better the grades, the easier the money, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, my sister, she went to the U because they had a really good program for Native American kids there. I mean, being connected with the Ute tribe, she was able to get her bachelor's degree there.
Wow. Well, so what did you do after high school?
Yeah, tell us how you got into...
I mean, you went on a mission.
Yeah, I went on a mission. I mean, I got recruited to a lot of different colleges, and Arizona State was my number one pick. And just right around that time, UVU was coming out with their program. Yeah. But they weren't taking
right after
scholarships.
Title IX destroyed wrestling for
right
BYU
after they weren't taking scholarships. So I went on my mission, came back, and I tried to get all my paperwork for schools. I tried to get, hey, pretty much you remember me. I'm Randy Yellowhair.
Yeah.
No one would take a look at me. So I decided to try to walk on at UVU. So I went to UVU, went to school there, and I tried to walk on, but I had some paperwork with my high school that didn't go through. So the NCAA didn't clear me. So although I went to morning practices, which was just kind of a club practice, I guess you could say, and I did do one tournament with them, which was the UVU Open.
So then how did you get into MMA?
And then after that, so they told me to stay at the institution for a year. So I looked at my classes, and right there on that paper, with PE class was JiuJitsu.
Really?
Yeah. So I took JiuJitsu.
Who was the teacher then?
It was Michael.
Yeah, Michael Pease.
Michael Pease, he's the one who brought me into it. He's the one who taught me the ropes of JiuJitsu, and that's where it started.
And that was gi jiu-jitsu.
How long ago was that? How many years?
And I didn't want to stop after that.
How long was that?
It was about 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
So then, how did you get into MMA, and when was your first fight?
It's kind of funny because my mom is actually the one who got me into it.
Really?
Even though she says I didn't do it. I called home one day and was just talking to my mom and dad just because I live so far away. I keep connected with them. And my mom was talking to me and she was like, "Hey, I got to tell you something." I was like, "I know, like all right, what's going on?" She said, "There's posters around town. This is the Reds too, and they're doing MMA fighting. Dad didn't want to tell you, but I think you want to know about this." And just because of this, I was getting into jiu-jitsu, and it's like, I mean, let me find out. Like, can you send me some information on it? And I got the poster, got everything in line, and it was a jiu-jitsu. It was a tournament, an MMA tournament.
Huh.
And so it was no weight classes.
Really?
No weight classes.
Off the reservation.
Oh, yeah.
Reservation,
Pretty much,
you don't
yeah.
have the state
no
governing
regulation,
bodies,
nothing. Yeah. So it was just an MMA tournament, winner take all, $500.
No holds bar.
No hold. Yeah. $500, winner take all.
So you entered it?
I did. Knocked out 4 people one night.
Really?
Yep.
In one night, you
one
fought
night.
4
people,
times?
4 times.
That's pretty, dude.
Yeah.
That's more than Hoist Gracie did ever in any UFC. That's unbelievable.
So it was
knocked out 4 people.
Well, it didn't knock out, but it was a.
You knocked 4 people out of the tournament.
I fought 4 people. I won all TKO by the first round.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you
That's
TKO'd him, so you
TKO's
stopped him with
a
I
punches.
stopped them in the first round. All
Wow.
4.
Had you been doing any striking or boxing then, or were you just flailing like a wild man?
Now going back on history, boxing has always been a part of my life too.
Okay, so you did.
I had did some boxing. I did some wrestling. And then I had barely started taking JiuJitsu. And so boxing, I actually learned from a guy who was a really good boxer. I mean, he had silver gloves, golden gloves. I don't know, any color gloves, glitter gloves, whatever gloves he had.
Oh, so you're saying he literally had silver gloves? I thought you meant like that was like a step down from golden gloves.
He won everything. Every tournament you can think of, he won.
Really?
And they had nobody to train with him. They had nobody to his size, and they knew that I was a wrestler. And they're like, "Why don't you try sparring with him?" So every time he had a fight
was he a Native American? He was.
Yeah.
So you've only been training MMA for 4 years then?
About 4 years.
How many fights, amateur and pro, have you had?
I've had over 15 amateur fights. I believe I went 15-2 as an amateur.
Wow.
Yeah, that's including all my one night fights.
Well,
that's still, hey man, they're real.
And then as a pro right now, I'm sitting at 5-2-1. Well,
5-2-1.
Yeah, with one no contest.
Yeah, that's great, dude. That's awesome.
So, yeah, I mean,
you got a fight coming up.
January 9th, man. I'm back.
And what organization is that with?
Steel Fist, fighting 155. I'm going up a weight class.
So you have to go to that fight for sure because I'm going to be in New Orleans with Seth for Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we want to have as big of a Riven and Fresco representation there. Most people that work here are going, and we're going to really promote Randy and this comeback and our friends at Steel Fist. I think it's going to be awesome. We're excited. I mean, you've kind of had a little bit of a rough patch the past year and a half or so.
About 2 years. It's been up and down. So I'm a father to a daughter, and I love my daughter very much, and she's been a part of my life, and she's really changed my life. So
you've had one fight since she's been born?
2 fights. Three fights. I had one fight at the showdown where I was not proud of the win at all, but I got the W.
That's good.
Because she was born like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, I thought you were crazy for taking that fight.
I shouldn't have even fought, but I won, and I was not proud of it. And then I took a fight in July, and I had just switched jobs to night job, and I was just kind of wasn't myself, but I took it because it was a title fight. I ended up losing a 5-round war, so it was pretty good, but I still think I won that fight. Yeah, I still think personally I think I won that.
I thought you did too.
The one thing I've really noticed about you and your family is there's no bigger support group than when you fight. I mean, it looks like your entire extended family is at the fight. So what is the mentality, or what does your family in general, what do they think about mixed martial arts or or cage fighting or.
Do they
whatever.
love the sport, or do they like just supporting you?
They love the sport. Yeah, wrestling. The Yellowhair family is all about wrestling, and so easily transfer over to MMA.
Yeah.
So they love the sport. They know the rules. They yell at me in Navajo when I'm fighting.
You know Navajo?
I know probably about, I want to say 50-60%.
Enough to know when they're swearing at him. And
Yeah,
telling him
I
to
do.
get up.
Yeah,
But
if
is it
someone's
true
swearing at
that-
me, talking to me, introducing me, so
Is it true that I've heard, is it Navajo that's the most difficult language to learn?
it is.
That's the code talkers, right?
Yeah, the code talkers. I mean, that's the people who won the World War
Really?
II. Yeah,
That's awesome.
my neighbor was actually a code talker. So
Really?
hmm So one of the originals, I believe. I think he was.
What, I mean, so did anybody, when you grew up, did you speak Navajo with your mom and dad? Or?
I didn't actually. My older siblings did. They are all fluent, but I didn't get too into it. I guess I didn't. They were teaching us English by then. They were trying to change everything over
You feel jit-
because they were in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
and then 90s. They kind of like, all right, let's start teaching these guys English.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your older brother and sisters all speak English.
They all
too,
speak
right?
English, but they all speak Navajo too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what weight are you fighting at?
I'm fighting 155.
And who's your opponent?
His name is Tiago Elves from Brazil.
Thiago Alves or
Elves.
Elves?
Alves.
Elves. I don't know
It's
how many.
ALVES, right?
Yeah.
That's Alves.
Where's he fighting out of?
I know he lives in Brazil and he comes to Utah every once in a while. But when he comes to Utah, he trains with
One hit.
used to be with One Hit, but I think he left One Hit. He's with Team
He's
Link.
He's that
Team
short,
Link.
real buff dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sponsored him one time, like 2 years ago, when we did all One Hit and Aldo and those
Yeah.
guys.
Team Link is who he's with now.
Team Link.
Yeah, I think he left all those group. Yeah.
I don't even know. Have you heard? I haven't even heard of those guys. Well, I mean, obviously we're big fans of you. And how's this fight preparation going? I mean, you're Randy. Just so everybody knows, is working so hard for me and here and with Fresco and Riven that I'm amazed that he has the stamina and the energy and the dedication to train and cut weight, because he had quite a bit of weight to cut
Yeah,
this time. I think.
I was up in the high 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the high 90s when I came back down. So right now I'm walking around about 175. So
That's cool. Well, so what do you, now that, for you, when you cut that weight, how much weight do you typically have gained back from the time you weigh in until you fight?
the next day, well, when I fought 145 last time, I was 163 the next day.
And that was all drinking, or did you have any IVs?
I had all drinking.
All
yeah,
drinking?
water,
IVs are
Pedialyte,
banned.
everything.
No.
Well, are they banned at the local level, or is that just the Nevada State
I'm not too
Athletic
sure
Commission?
about it. I've never used IVs before. I've always wanted to try,
Yeah.
but I've never been
That's so
able to.
stupid to me that IVs are banned. That's the dumbest thing that
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've ever heard of. People are going to cut weight anyway. Why
Yeah.
would you not
Yeah. Let them hydrate
let
as
them
efficiently
safely,
as possible.
efficiently hydrate? Yeah.
What I do is I like to get the bath ready right when I get done cutting weight, and I just sit in the bath and I just drink water.
Really?
Yeah, I'm drinking water as I'm saying. Then
So
my
do you like
body's
water
taking in the
over, like,
water. My body's
Gatorade, or-
soaking in all the water.
So
Yeah.
you're telling me your body soaks up water
Pretty
by
much
sitting in the bath.
by sitting
Unless
in
you
the
have
water.
Epsom salt, then it sucks
Then it sucks
out.
it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to me that you even were able to make 145. To be honest,
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. I mean,
It's the toughest weight cut ever.
So how much weight did you lose in the 10 hours before you weighed in?
15.
15
Yeah.
pounds, huh?
I think the most I ever lost was 16.
how much are you going to have to cut for this fight? You're fighting at 55.
55, so it won't be too bad at all. I walk around the day of weigh-ins about 160. So
Really?
You just have to be really careful over the
holiday
break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
be real disciplined.
Yeah, the reason why I took the fight too is everybody's like, Thanksgiving's here, Christmas is here, but not a lot of people know that I'm actually divorced now, and so I took this fight to kind of get my mind off, my family, to
the drama that you're going
trying to
through.
go through get away from the drama, get away from everything, because I don't come home till 11 o'clock at night after I'm done
Who
training.
takes
and
care of your
working.
baby girl, your wife, your
Um,
ex-wife?
Yeah, Megan does.
Mhm.
Megan takes care of her during the day. We put her in daycare, And so we are actually really good friends. We split the costs on everything. So everything she does, we decide together. But we're good friends still because of our daughter, and we'll probably always be in each other's lives because of our kid.
That's healthy. I mean, I think that's something that a lot of people have a hard time doing. I know for me, I mean, I know how passionate I am about my relationship. It would be so hard for me, I think, I mean, if I were to imagine her moving on with her life and having a different guy in her life, it'd be so hard for me to just be all level-headed, considering how, it just seems like it'd be such an emotional thing that it would be hard to stay level-headed. But that's pretty cool. I mean, it's always, to me, it's a sign of someone who's really mature when they can continue to have a good relationship with their ex.
I mean, we have our arguments. I mean, even still to this day, we have little arguments or little things that trigger both of us. But overall, we know that the end goal is that we have a daughter and we have to raise her together.
Yeah, I mean, Randy, we're kind of almost out of time, but the big thing here was to get Randy's story out. And, I knew Randy before, and Adam and I both really liked him, and he's always stuck out to us as literally a stand-up guy. And I can't say enough good things about you personally. He's the most humble, kind man that I know, and just extremely hardworking. His family is amazing. And, at the other side, when it comes fight time, the Desert Demon comes out. And Randy has this other side that kind of gets unleashed. So, if you think this calm-mannered guy, he's a different animal inside the cage. So I hope everybody comes, goes to Steel Fist and buys a ticket for January 9th.
I'll have tickets here, too. So if you want to buy tickets from me, you just stop by the shop, and I'll be able to
come buy tickets for Randy if you're going to buy tickets.
And I'll have shirts coming out as well, too.
Yeah, we're going to we'll try to link up those shirts to buy. But if you want one of the shirts, hit Randy up as well. That's going to be directly through Randy. It's going to be a co-branded Riven, Randy Yellowhair Desert Demon. And this dude's so multi-talented that he even designed this shirt. So he's a fighter, a father, working here, and he's a graphic designer. So
that's awesome. Well, Randy, I love your story. I've always loved having class with you, and you've always been such a good dude. And you are an inspiration of someone that can do a lot of things and accomplish a lot, and be a father, pursue your passion of MMA, and work hard at a traditional job. I mean, you're a real inspiration, and you're the kind of guy that I think, Riven tries to support people that are able to, really push themselves to be the best they can be. Is there anything specific you'd like to say, or anything that you think is something that you want people to know about you, or a certain thing to end on?
I just want people to know that I'm a family man. I'll always put my daughter first over anybody or anything. She will always be number one in my life. Second, I know I gotta finish school. That's number one on my priority. I took some time off just because of how things were going in my life, from having a baby. Like, all within the past 2 years, I had a baby, which I saw life. I lost a brother within that same year. And I saw life and death all within the same year. And not only that, I was separated from my wife, and then we decided to end things mutually. And going all through those at the same time, it really kind of messed me up and messed with my head. But always having friends and family there that support me, and just how they support me in fighting, they supported me in life too as well. And when come January 9th, man, I'm not going to be that calm guy. I'm there to go take someone's head off. So I'm there to fight, and he's going to have to kill me or something to take me out of there, because there's no way I'll tap. He can't knock me out. So I'm there to fight him, man. Like, that's all it comes down to. I mean, I change. I mean, when it comes to fight, I'm there to fight, and I won't give up.
Well, hey.
Just like what it says for Riven, man, I'll never give up on life
awesome.
Or in the cage.
If you didn't like, or know about Randy before, now you know, and you can see why we like him so much and why you should support him. So awesome. January 9th at Steel Fist.
Thanks, Randy.
Episode 15.
Appreciate it,
man.
Okay,
Drop the mic.
Boom.
Randy.
Thanks,
that was funny.